Hello guys, welcome to HRL Season 5, round number 13. This is going to be Dolium SX Moto 2 final moto for the event. It's been an interesting event, not exactly the same as the previous Dolium race, but there are some similarities, mainly in the spots where people are crashing. There's some similarities there, but in terms of the way the track's being raced, a couple differences in how the race is going. A lot more passing. Here we go, gate's about to drop. There it is, green flag. Watch him go into the first corner. That inside gets pinched so often, and it happens yet again. A lot of people going down in the whoops this time. I was pretty clean last time, if I recall correctly, but this time there's tons of crashes on the start. Going through the rhythm section, this obviously isn't going to go well. Yeah, like several people going down. Plenty of drivers stuck in the rhythm section. That's like half. That's probably over half the field was involved in that. Huge frickin' crash. Oh, what the heck? What was that? I don't know if you guys saw that. Definitely rewind that. If you missed it, but that was kind of funny. Little stoppage in the sand section, then Luke and Real Deal come by and rip the booster and just like go right by those drivers. That was kind of funny. Some cheese going on in the back there. Get back to that in a minute. In a hot minute. Looks like we have. Who's in the front? I believe Fireball with a pretty good lead has worked his way into the front. Was that just a grenade blowing up on track? What the cheese? Alright, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that in just a second here. I believe it's Fireball in the lead, and I can definitely tell Real Deal's... I think it's Turkey second, Real Deal battling for third, and there is Vulcan with a dead body. So we're going to take a look at the instant replay because we weren't exactly focusing on it before. This is what happened here. Vulcan and Could Be Better involved in a crash, and Could Be Better was given for a penalty for like that sort of pinning he was doing on Vulcan, but Vulcan was also given a penalty as well because there's the grenade, because we do have that new, after Guerco, that new quitting rule, which we've only had to use once before. This is the second time it's been used, because I think Vulcan denied it, but we were able to tell pretty obviously there that was definitely a quit. There's really no way around it. Like, you don't get pinned like that, get off your goose, throw a nade, and then just randomly lag out. Like that, the chances of that pretty low. But the chances of you quitting in that situation, kind of the opposite. They're pretty high. So there's penalties issued to both those drivers for that. The penalties will be reflected in their final points at the end of the video. So just wanted to let you guys know about that. Another little positive about this season, which doesn't sound like a positive, but in my opinion, it kind of is. I think we've definitely handed out the most penalties this season that we have in any season, which doesn't sound like a positive, but in my opinion, I would say it is, because like you can't let stuff go too much. You know what I mean? You have to stay strict on the rules, because if you're not strict on the rules, then people aren't going to respect them. And we've been lenient in the past, but this season it's been a lot less lenient, and some people haven't liked that. But in my opinion, it's overall a good thing, because the more strict, the less stuff you let go, the better. Because if you let less stuff go, then less stuff's just going to happen in general, because people are going to respect the rules and realize that it's probably not worth it going for some of these actions that'll get you a penalty. So, little thing I just thought of there, being brought up by that little weird incident. Anyways, I think it's Fireball in the lead still. We got Turkey in second. That's Real Deal in third, Luke in fourth, and rounding out the top five is... holy crap, is that, dude, I'm gonna say that's Opix, but I don't think that's Opix, dude. That looks like Ots and Ducks. Pretty sure that is Ots and Ducks, which is insane, up there in fifth. And then we got, Justice was having a good run. He's fallen back now, like to eighth or so. Was having a good run and then just had a wreck on the last jump, I think. And I really think that's Justice's issue, is consistency, and being clean, I guess. He's had some good runs, some good starts. Like, he's had good opportunities to have some just solid finishes, and he's kind of thrown them away with a mistake here or there. And that's one of those things that you'll see out of new drivers is they tend to do a lot of stuff like that. They'll make some mistakes here or there, and even though they're having like a good run, even though they've got some pure speed, those mistakes will cost him. So I think once he gets that ironed out, maybe practices a little more, and starts making less of those mistakes, I could definitely see Justice on Supercrosses, Motocrosses. I could see him getting some better, more consistent placings if he gets some of that stuff ironed out, because I just think it would help him a lot. I think it would lead to better finishes. Obviously, if you're not crashing, especially on a track like this one, super important. If you're not crashing nearly as much, you're gonna see better results. That's just kind of how it works in the racing world. If you don't crash, you're probably gonna do good. Anyways, we have a little battle here. Is this a top 5 battle? I think Ducks may have gotten cheesed. No, he's still running. Oh, wow, still running up there. So this is like a 6th through 10th, 11th or so battle here. Got a lot of drivers just duking it out with each other. Could see some like late race comebacks possibly, like we did with Fireball. Working his way through the pack last moto. Speaking of which, Fireball looking good for the overall right now. I think in order for Luke to get the overall, he needs to overtake Real Deal for 3rd. I don't think he needs. Pretty sure he doesn't need 2nd. But I think he definitely needs to overtake Real Deal for 3rd in order to get that overall. So right now, Fireball's looking in good shape. Also, Fireball, I don't think he has. He doesn't have a moto win this season yet. So I think he's definitely looking for no lag cheese. He's had lag cheese issues a lot. So I definitely think that he's probably just hoping that nothing happens here. Because this looks like it could be a pretty good opportunity for him to wrap up that moto win. He does have an overall. He did get one at Manitowoc, so he has that. But the moto win is just not, it's just not been in his favor so far. And this could be this could be the danger to his 2nd overall right here. I think he's more concerned about the moto win because he doesn't have it. But here we go. Luke's gonna get side by side with Real Deal. Not gonna be able to complete the pass though. So I think this battle might continue for quite a bit. And Fireball's going to hold on to that overall for a little longer. So this right here is definitely the biggest threat to his overall. But again, if you're Fireball, you're kind of like, you can't really win the championship at this point. You're just trying to get as many points as possible, gain 1, maybe 2 positions in the points at the end of the season, get as best of a finish as you possibly can, and sort of recover from how I'm just going to straight up say how crappy his season's been. And ended on a better note than the way the rest of the season has been. I think that's Ducks right there. With the way his goose was placed, I think he lagged out. So that's unfortunate for him because he was having a really good run. Because we haven't seen that much out of Ducks yet, but he was in that top 5 and he was holding on to it. He was doing a great job. So that's unfortunate for 2 reasons. 1, like I said, he was having a great performance. 2, his goose is on the track. Not that many people run that line, but his goose is on the track, so that's always unfortunate. And it's Supercross, so we're not going to have any stoppage. Just very unfortunate there for him. Definitely could have been a revolutionary night for him. Getting your first top 5, that's always a big thing. So first win is big, but if you haven't broken top 5 yet, first top 5, first podium, huge accomplishments too. Just little baby steps to get up to the win, essentially. And this could be dangerous. Luke with the inside on Real Deal, and it looks like he's going to be able to overtake him this time. So unless Real Deal can fight back for the spot. Oh, Real Deal with the lag cheese. You just see that clear lag cheese right there. And that's, even if Luke didn't pass him, he probably would have went by him right there with that huge amount of lag cheese that Real Deal just got hit with. So that's unfortunate for Fireball because I'm pretty sure Luke is in that position for the overall now. Fireball can't really do more than what he's doing, essentially. Like there's nothing more he can do. Getting the win's the best thing that he can do. So he's definitely going to be trying to hold on to that, especially because he's got Turkey Shot behind him. You don't want Turkey Shot picking up a win. That's just a disgrace. So you don't want that happening. So you know that Fireball is going to be fighting a little bit extra hard to hold on to this moto win here. Going through, I think, we just hit 3 minutes to go, right? I believe so. All right, so probably about 75% of through the race right now. I guess if you don't want to count the extra laps and stuff. Hard battle right there between Hunter and Bean. And we've seen lots of battles so far. There's still a lot of battles going on track. Like I said, some of this stuff is pretty big for these bubble drivers. I definitely want to get to that when I get back to the recaps. Because these bubble drivers, man, they are in an interesting spot where they have to either just have a really good not second half, I'd say end of the season, just have solid placings, podiums, top 5s everywhere, and just do really good, or they have to get a win, get an overall win. That'd be the best case scenario. Get a moto win plus an overall, and that would help a lot of these guys. You know, I think the better way to go probably, or the more likely for one of these guys to work their way into that wild card spot is probably through points, or through top 8 spot. My bad, is through points. I think that door is still open. Like that's still possible that they can do it. But their best chance is by passing Camby, and Camby only needs to make 2 more races, 2 more rounds. That is for a full season, and he's got 5 rounds to do so. So Camby's got plenty of time to show up to a couple races and do decent. Because Camby, with his position, he's had, I would say Camby's had one of his better seasons. He's kind of he might even be the most improved driver, or he might be a candidate for most improved driver this season, because he has had, compared to his previous seasons, he's had a really good season in terms of points, in terms of the fact that he's got a win under his belt. He's got more podiums and more top 5s, and more just decent finishes. He's got a positive position differential, which is a huge marker of a good driver. If you have a positive, I think people underrate that stat a little bit. If you have a positive position difference, then that's huge. That definitely shows how good of a season you've had. And I think that, you know, a lot of people probably don't pay much attention to that stat, but I think that stat is where the stories are told. If you have a negative position difference by like a lot, then you're not going anywhere really. If you have a negative by a little bit, then it's still salvageable. If you have a positive by a lot, you're clearly a good driver. You're clearly having a good season. If you have a positive by a little bit, you're kind of like on the bubble. Or if you have it somewhere in the middle, like let's say positive, like I don't know, 30, 40, that means you've had like a, I would say like an up and down season. You know, you've had mostly positive, but you've had some really bad negatives that have kind of held you down, I guess. Is the way I would put that. But here we go. We're heading 2 laps to go, so not that much time left in the race. Fireball is still holding on to that lead. This could be a good opportunity for his first moto win of the season. Speaking of which, if he does that, then we've got, what is it, 8 people? All 8 people in that top 8. Is that actually 9 people? Wow. Everybody in the Champ Series will have a moto win during the season, and there's 2 people that have moto wins that aren't even in contention, which is crazy. I don't know if we've had something like that before. Yeah, I don't know if we have. Freaking 12 people with moto wins. That might be a record. I gotta check that. But here we go. We're coming to white flag here. It's just looking like it's gonna settle out with a solid race for Fireball, and this could definitely be his first moto win that we're witnessing. So keep a close eye on him. This would actually, yes, last season, even if nobody new gets a moto win by the end of the season, we broke the record, because season 4, 11 people, 11 different people had moto wins. So that's crazy. I wonder how the overalls went. Season 4, we had 8 different people with overalls. Oh, we've actually had less people with overalls this season, though. Only 6. That's interesting. More people with moto wins, but less people with overalls. That's really interesting. Or 7 people, my bad, I missed one. So, wow, interesting right there. Little stat action, but there you go, Fireball with the crazy whip. It's kind of a bad whip because he wrecks himself, but whatever. Style points, who cares? Gonna get that win. Turkey with the 2nd place, which is pretty big for his little escapade here, just showing up out of nowhere and is like, all right, I'm just gonna race this and then whatever. So there's that. And Luke's going to round out the top 3 and take the overall. So there you go. There's the results for Dolium SX. Going to have those points for you at the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this event. Next event is going to be Slinger Super Speedway, which is what I'm excited for because I made it and I named it after one of my favorite home tracks. And at home, this track is very small. It's very exciting. There's a lot of beating and banging, and it's a really fun track. I'm hoping that it turns out like that in Halo. I'm hoping it's kind of like a different version of Grizzly, if that makes sense. Like I'm hoping it has some resemblance to Grizzly, but it doesn't race the exact same. But it kind of has the same like tight, battle action essentially. So I'm really excited for this race. Hope you guys are too. See you there.